Whenever I hear that gospel, I think about this other woman who only had 4 husbands instead of 5. First, she married a millionaire. Then she married an actor. Then she married a minister. And then a funeral director. Or as she liked to say, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go. One of the great spiritual writers in the 20th century, my personal favorite and someone that I probably quote more than anyone else in the world, Henry Nouwen, was being honored at a dinner. And one by one, different people came up and talked about the great impact that Henri had on their lives, their spiritual lives, with his great gift, both in writing and in spoken form, how he effectively communicated the message of Jesus Christ that we find in the gospel. When it was finally his turn to speak, he walked across to the microphone, kind of out of breath, weak, wobbly, feeble. He was literally weeks away from his own death. And Nouwen began with these simple words, "I'm just so glad to be with you." He went on to say that they were probably the most important words that he ever spoke in his life, and that he spoke them on countless occasions to countless people. He said those words are prayer. Those words are the language of Christ and of Christians. They summarize who we are. 2 things among many. I mean, you could do a whole retreat just on that gospel. But 2 things kind of stand out to me from that passage. Number 1, Jesus did not let the woman off the hook. She was going to have a kind of a superficial encounter with him. She was there by herself, in the heat of the day, trying to get away from everybody. She was very, very embarrassed by her life, by her seeming failures. And he wasn't going to let that happen. He was not going to let her go away from there unaffected. And so he spoke to her directly about her husband. And she said she had no husband. And then when he told her the story, I know you don't have a husband, but you've had 5, and the person you're living with right now is not your husband. He obviously did it in such a way that allowed her to be freed of all of her embarrassment, of all that she felt as a failure in life. And so Jesus basically was saying to her, number 2, I'm just so glad to be with you. And she took that to mean and she said, come and meet someone who told me everything I've ever done. And that's not necessarily the case. We don't know. We don't know the story of this woman. As much as John goes into great detail and tells wonderful stories at great length, he, we don't know why, what was the story with her, why did she have 5 husbands, etc., etc. But we see the compassionate response of our God. And in a sense, he doesn't tolerate the woman. He loves her. Maybe we don't have anything nearly as dramatic as 5 marriages, but I would dare say that every single person in this church needed at least 5 do-overs in their life. Nouwen spoke specifically on another occasion about this particular passage, and I'd like to read from a quote from him, because his words are great. He said, "I'd give 1,000 sunsets to see the expression of Jesus' face when he heard the Samaritan woman speak those words. Did his eyes water? Did he smile? Did he look up into the clouds and cast a holy wink in the direction of his heavenly Father? Of all places to find a hungry heart, Samaria. Of all the Samaritans to be searching for God, a woman. Of all the women to have a insatiable appetite for God, a 5-time divorcee. Of all people to be chosen to personally receive the secret of the ages, an outcast among outcasts. Remarkable. Jesus didn't reveal the secret to King Herod, the religious establishment, any bigwigs. He didn't announce his identity and present his credentials within the colonnades of a Roman court. No, he revealed the secret of the ages in the shade of a well in a rejected land to an ostracized woman. Maybe when we replay Lent 2021 and COVID 2019 and ask, what does it mean? What's meaningful in all this craziness? Maybe Nouwen's words, Christ's words, may become our words. For Nicole, just venturing into Christianity, and for those of us who've been at it for a while, not cynicism, not gossip, not judgmentalism, but it's so good to be with you.